Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. My name is Joni and I am the mom behind simplelivingmama.com, where we help moms simplify life, home, and homeschool. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my family's plans for summer homeschooling. So stay tuned. So before I dive into what I'm planning to do with my kids over the summer, I kind of want to just sit and have a chit chat about how this past school year has gone. I'm going to be completely honest. This past school year has been one of the more challenging school years that we have had. And it has not gone the way that I wanted it to go at all, to be completely frank. It has been very, very difficult. I know I did a video not too long ago about how my entire family was sick in January and February. I was sick in particular for almost the entire time. So we had 2 straight months of sickness, and that really put a wrench into our homeschool and really put a wrench into my schedule and my plans and where I wanted to be and all of that stuff. So I have really been having to think and evaluate what we're going to do going forward. Because you hear a lot, there is no behind in homeschool, but I'm going to tell you this. My oldest child is going into the 11th grade. And I am really starting to feel that that final push. My years of teaching him are coming to a close rapidly, and I want him to be prepared for adulthood. So this is not the time for me to say, hey, let's just let this slide. We're going to worry about it later. He is going to be making decisions very, very soon about what he wants to do with his future, and I want him to be prepared, and I want him to have some of these subjects definitely under his belt. I want his transcript to look good if he does decide to go to college. We're still talking about these things. He hasn't completely decided what he wants to do yet, but I'm feeling that crunch. I'm feeling that push that, this is not the time to say, hey, let's just let it slide. So there are a lot of things that I want to get done with the kids. Our homeschool year is not going to officially end until the end of June. We got a little bit of a late start this year, and all of the sickness and all of the things that have happened, I'm just not comfortable with ending it until the end of June. We are right now, the day that I'm filming this is June 1st, and I still have a Civil War study that I want to do with my middle kids, and we're finishing up our paleontology unit with the good and the beautiful, finishing up some literature reads and all of that stuff. So we're not going to end our school year until the end of June. That said, we are taking a little bit more of a relaxed approach, and we will definitely be relaxed through July and part of August, when I have stopped the current school year, taking a little bit of a break, getting ready for the next school year. So that's my plan for July, all of July, and then probably about 2 weeks in August, and we'll start back up with our homeschool year around the same time that schools traditionally start here where we live right now. I know last year I don't think we started until September, so September to June would be a normal school year. If I think there's people in the north that go September to June. But, like I said, we've had a lot of things happen. Also, I am finding that overscheduling, not being home, really hinders my plans for homeschool. And I am also right now in the process of trying to figure out how I'm going to whittle that down, because we had to spend a lot of time outside of the house this past school year for my 7-year-old's therapy appointments. He does speech, OT, and PT. And I'm really to the point right now where I don't think he needs the OT and the PT anymore. And there's a lot of stuff that I can be doing with him at home for those things. He's not severely disabled or anything like that. And I just feel like it's taking way too much time away from homeschool. We don't live close to where he does therapy. We kind of live further out. So the drive out there is 30 minutes, and then we're there for 3 hours. And then the drive back is another 30 minutes. We are losing huge chunks of our school day doing this stuff. And he's been doing the speech, or he's been doing the OT and the PT for over a year now. And I feel like he's made tremendous progress. As far as his speech goes, he has been doing that for almost 2 years now, and he has made a ton of progress. We are seeing a neurologist for him just to make sure there's nothing neurological going on, because he does still have a little bit of trouble with some things. And I feel like once we talk to the neurologist and kind of get an idea of what exactly might be going on, I can make a better decision in the future about his speech therapy. So right now, I definitely feel like he still needs to have speech. But all of this other stuff that's just completely taking away from me being at home and me being able to get academics done with not only him, but also my other kids. So yeah, I'm really just trying to think about different things and make some different decisions. Also, extracurriculars. I know that we had, we didn't do a co-op this past year, but I did have my kids in some enrichment classes. So there's a lot that I'm thinking about, trying to decide what we're going to do for next year. Also, there's this whole question hanging over our family of whether or not we're going to move, when we're going to move, where we're going to move. My husband's in the military, so it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, and it's a lot to process. But I really feel like we need to simplify as much as we possibly can. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I said, we are homeschooling through the end of June. We did just take a week off completely. We went on a vacation with my parents. It's the first vacation, like real vacation, we've been on in a long time. We've done some camping trips and some other things like that, but we haven't like really just gone away for a week to the beach in years. So it was so nice to get away. And the kids were still just having wonderful experiences and learning lots of different things while we were gone. I'm not going to count that as school, but it was a great time and a great experience. So now I'm going to sort of talk about what are we going to do when we're off in July and August, and also sort of starting right now in June too. So the first thing that we really do enjoy are summer reading programs. So I did order the free summer reading program from The Good and the Beautiful. It's super cute. You just pay shipping, and it comes with this little summer reading log. It looks like this, and then it has like a little scene inside with some stickers, and they can decorate the scene, and then you know, they can add a sticker for every book that they read and write the titles back here. So I went ahead and did that. Now we also have summer reading programs at the library. And I'm going to be completely honest, I have not been back to the library since we had the flu in February. I am about 99% certain that we got those viruses. I had CMV for 3 weeks, and then right after I got over that, we got the flu. 99% sure that they came from the library. The library is a wonderful place. Our library in particular, the one that we visit, is very active. There are always lots of people there, and the kids love to play with the toys and the different things that they have at the library. And you know, people bring their kids there, their sick kids there, they're slobbering all over the toys, putting them in their mouth, and then, you know, other people, that's where it came from. I know that's where the sickness came from, okay? So I have been very hesitant to take the kids back to the library because of that. I'm especially before our vacation, I told the kids, I said, we're not going in the library. I'm not taking you guys in the library to play with stuff before we go on this vacation, because I don't need anybody sick. So I know the kids are wanting to go back and sign up for the summer reading program. We will probably do that, but I'm going to be honest, I am not planning on spending a ton of time inside the library this summer, or probably ever again with the little kids. I'll take them in there to grab some books, but I'm not going to spend the amount of time that we were spending in the library with my young kids who like to play with those community toys. We don't need to go through that again as a family. So anyway, summer reading programs, lots of fun. We totally enjoy doing all of that. Okay, so what else are we going to be doing? Lots of reading. I'm not planning on telling, especially my older children, what to read. I just want them to read. I'm going to make sure they're not reading anything that's inappropriate, but I want them to just choose books that they enjoy and to read those. My oldest son, who is 16, he is actually working on his own YouTube channel. He's very into tech and stuff like that. So he has like a tech news YouTube channel. That's something that he spends a lot of time on. And I know he's going to be doing that this summer. We have summer camp coming up. My kids are involved in scouts. So we'll do different things with the scouts. And it's going to be a very laid back, casual time. We'll go out on picnics or go visit the creek, go for some hikes, go to the splash pad. These are the kinds of things that we do during the summer. I don't like to have a ton of structure. I don't like to assign a ton of things when we have, just those few weeks off from our regular academics. Now, I will say that because of what we went through this past school year, we are very behind, especially in our math curriculum. My 7-year-old, he is going to need to keep up with his reading practice and his math throughout the summer. So I do plan to set aside time with him in particular to work on his reading. We're using the Bob books with him right now, and to work on his math. We're using Math with Confidence. I love Math with Confidence. I think it may be my favorite math curriculum that we have ever used in our homeschool this far. And if you guys want me to do a review on Math with Confidence, I can do that for you guys. I really love it. So we're going to keep going with that. I would love for him to be starting book 2 when we start the next school year, when he's in 2nd grade. So planning to keep up with the math curriculum, and I'm planning to keep up with his reading. For my 9-year-old and my 10-year-old, they are also going to need to finish their math curriculum. They are using teaching textbooks. It's kind of funny because I've been watching some other YouTube videos, and there's some hate out there for teaching textbooks. And we have used it off and on for a very long time. I've done reviews on it and stuff like that. My oldest son used teaching textbooks right up until he started high school. And he's taking a couple of online high school math courses, and he's done really, really well. So, I don't know. I don't think teaching textbooks is a bad curriculum. I do think that it is easy for the kids to kind of cheat if you're not paying attention or you're not sitting there with them and doing the work with them. I have noticed that, especially with one of my kids, that he will try to get around doing his work. But you have to be vigilant, you have to pay attention, and you have to know what's going on with them, especially if you've got some kids that are a little bit sneaky. But yeah, they're going to have to finish their math, keep working on their math curriculum, and some of their language arts. We use language lessons for today, and they've got some stuff they need to finish up with that. Now, I am planning, and I will talk about this in a future homeschool video about what we're going to use next year, but I'm planning to make some changes, and I kind of want to introduce a little bit more rigor into our homeschool. So we're going to see what I end up deciding to do, but I do plan to make a few changes with our curriculum next school year. So let's see, what have I talked about? I've talked about summer reading, love summer reading. I've talked about keeping up with math and the language arts, especially since we are behind. There is a lot that I want them to do. I don't want them to go into the next school year still working on the previous grade level. I feel like for them especially, they look at it and they're like, why am I still doing 3rd grade when I'm supposed to be in 4th grade? They don't like it. So I kind of just want them to get as much done as possible. Now, I'm not someone who's like, you have to finish the entire curriculum or you have to finish the entire book. I don't really do that with my kids, but I want them to get a good portion of it done, not just about halfway through, which is where we are with some of our stuff after this past school year. Let's see. I'm not really planning on doing any special studies while we're off in July and August. In the past, I've done like some ocean studies or some stuff like that. I'm not really planning on doing any of that. I do want to do some family read-alouds, plus keep adding to our Yodo player collection. So we'll be reading books together and listening to books together all throughout the summer. One of my favorite books to read to my girls when they are around the 8-9-year-old age is A Little Princess. And I want to read that one with my 9-year-old daughter because she was very young the last time I read it to my oldest daughter. So I think I want to try to read that with her. And yeah, I haven't made a book list. This is something that I do enjoy doing, but I haven't done it yet. And I don't know if I'm going to make a dedicated book list. I think I just might say, hey, I want to read this book, and then we'll start reading it and go from there. It's going to be very relaxed, very free-flowing. I do have on my blog activity calendars. I've started making homeschool activity calendars for each month. And it's just very, very simple, fun activities, great for the younger crowd. Very simple things, nature activities, there's some language arts activities, there's some math activities, just very simple, basic things, but also a way to add some fun to your homeschool. So in particular, for June this month, there's like build a fort, a blanket fort, and read in the blanket fort day. And there's make homemade lemonade, and measure your shadow outside with some sidewalk chalk, and different things like that. Just very simple, fun activities. We won't do all of them. I don't expect anyone to do all of the activities, but we'll pick some of them to do and have fun that way. We like to go and take picnics and just have a very relaxed, fun, almost 90s-like summer. I do want my kids to not be on screens a lot. And that is something that we are also struggling with in our home. I'll just be honest, with me having to run to therapies and stuff, the kids are spending more time on their screens than I would like. And I'm trying to figure out how to pull that back. If you've got some good book recommendations or something like that, I would love to have those, because I am really trying to work on that in my home. And I'm struggling with it a little bit. So that's one thing to consider. And then let's see, I think we're just gonna have a nice relaxed summer. As far as what I do when we are off, I do all my homeschool planning, all my homeschool shopping, spend a lot of time doing reorganization projects around the house. We are gonna have to declutter. I'm gonna have to go in, reorganize closets and declutter and get rid of stuff. This is a great time to do all of that when you're not so busy working on academics, to just work on some house projects or work on some of those things that you haven't had much of a chance to get to. So I will definitely be doing quite a bit of that. And then also working on my blog. I've got a couple of products in the works. It's very difficult for me to find dedicated time to sit down and work on those. They're a little bit more involved than just making a video or just writing a blog post or something like that. When you're actually trying to make a product, you need some really dedicated thought time to it. I don't do well working in very small pockets on those kind of projects. So I'm hoping to get those done this summer. Okay, so I think that's it. We're planning to have a fun, nice, relaxed summer. Let me know down in the comments, what do you do? Do you keep doing your academics? Do you take a nice long break? Do you do something else entirely? I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.